Hello and welcome to the IndieSider podcast where I play indie games and then interview the developers. Except this week it's not me doing the playing and the talking. This week's episode of the IndieSider podcast is guest hosted by my friend and colleague Sabriel Mastin, prolific indie game reviewer and Let's Player. You can find out more about Sabriel at her website at sabriel.me, that's SABRIEL.me. Take it away, Sabriel.
Thank you, Ken. Hello, I'm Sabriel for Gamebits, and this is Adventures of Pip, a platformer for PC, Mac, Linux, and Wii U. It came out at the beginning of June, and you should be able to find it on Steam. Pip, get up, you lazy doorstop. See, I am Pip, a red square, a pixel. Didn't you feel that shaking? Good thing you're not a ball, or you'd be on the floor. It sounds like it came from the castle. I bet Queen Derezia is back. Get out there and find out what's up. And, give me something to eat on the way back. Yeah. Avoid spikes. Got it. What are you doing? Get to it. Alright, I'm going. So the way she treats Pip is kind of normal. For in this kingdom, there is a caste system where depending on how many pixels you are made out of, you have a higher rank in society. If you're in the 8, 16, or 32-bit, you are higher than the subsequent people. Hold the jump button to float. And hold it when you jump to get a high jump. Go. See some stained glass art of the royal family. Berto says, "Hey there, Pipsqueak, how's it hopping?" Get it? Because your name is Pip and... never mind. You should go find the guards and let them know about these skull squids. You got it, dude. Hop. They are dropping money everywhere. And while I'm here, I might as well raid the castle. Okay. Thank you. Oh. Queen Derezia. Well, is that any way to greet a lady of my resolution? No need to get up. I'll see myself out. I'm done here anyway. It was unwise to try to hide Princess Adeline from me. Now that I have her powers, I control the bitstream and its limitless energy. Observe! Oh no! Oh dear. What? You don't know about the bitstream? The life energy that flows all around us? Try to keep up. Soon, the entire kingdom will be nothing but scattered pixels. Oh, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start small, by reducing each of you into a single pixel! Ha! Ah, that felt good. Do you enjoy my handiwork? King Blockhead and his square little queen. Perhaps we can write letters on your sides and a small child can stalk you. Ha! Queen Derezia out. Hey guys, you look like me now. What is your name, young pixel? Pip. Please run and find a hero to save my daughter. I could do it. Like, yeah. What are you still doing here? Go find a hero to save my daughter. Find someone more brave and capable than you and I. Go! Please excuse the king's temper. He's been inflexible long before any spell took his limbs. Queen Derezia has taken my precious daughter to her castle. Oh, if only Sir Chad were here to rescue her. Yeah. I'm just gonna go on my way now. We have a checkpoint. So if I die on the way out of the town here, I will pop up back there. People are screaming and fleeing away from Queen Derezia. Oh no. The chest here with... I will take your 1 coin as penance. Let's get out of here and go stop the queen, because we don't need Sir Chad or anybody else. See an overworld here, kind of similar to Mario 3 or Super Mario World. Now we're in a lovely forest. Hey, money! Money is used later in the game. You can buy stuff from the shops like more heart pieces, or take less damage when you're actually hit. and other various power-ups. Here we have a villager. Thanks for saving me. Many more of us have run off from the castle. Please help find me others. And each stage also has 3 villagers you can... I know something's up here. Each stage has 3 villagers you can find. Try to be a little bit of a completionist if you are. Right. Small, pathetic cube. Why do you pursue me? Surely you understand my power. And you do this for your king? One who might use you as a footstool? Or to prop open the door? Soon I will fix this cruel world by making everyone the same resolution. Except me, of course. The girl's gotta look her most high def. Now be gone! Oh no. Fallen! Pip, Pip. Where's that voice coming from? And what's up with all these beetles? Oh, hello there. I didn't notice you. Thought perhaps you were a tree stump. Allow me to introduce myself. I am, formerly, Sir Elwyn, a brave and noble knight. I protected our kingdom from the treachery of these dark woods for many years, until these filthy beetles took the land, and with it, my life. Back, filthy beetle! But enough about me. You, Pip. You are the hero foretold in ancient prophecies. Only you can restore order to the land. With that order, finally free me to my afterlife. But to accomplish that, you must first need my gift. Put out your hands. Sorry, forgot. I bestow upon you, Pip, the power of the bitstream. With this, you can evolve and gain new abilities. Look at that! I have arms. I can punch. I can punch and kick. Take that, tree. Pip, do you see that creature? The one that looks like a... the one that looks like an 8-eyed blob? Well, it's actually glowing because it's connected to the bitstream. Defeat these glowing beasts to absorb their pixels and evolve into new forms and abilities. Might just help you get out of a sticky situation, or a spiky one, or a lava-y one. Foreshadowing. Alright, so you can use these guys to help you jump in the bitstream, evolve and de-evolve. So on my command, I can turn into single pip form, or single pixel form, jump on that, and I can turn into 8-bit pip. And with this ability, say to return to town. Oh, excellent! I can reopen my shop. Please stop by when you can. So now I can wall jump in 8-bit form, where I cannot do that in pixel form. Give me your money. A little secret area there. The game hides lots of little secrets everywhere. You can kind of see the top of the chest there. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Oh, I need that money. Is there anything up here? Aha, there was. Let's get across here. Punch you because I can. Hey, this looks familiar. It's that huge red chest we saw. Alright. Apples restore your health. You can see I had full health because I am a pro. And because I got lucky. Just like that. Okay. We'll jump up here. See the ground fell below me. We have up here. Now see, the game often tries to help you. If for whatever reason, say, you got here, there'd be no way you could get up here. But with the help of pixel form, and more speed of 8-bit form, or excuse me, the help of the bitstream guy, we'll go like this. There we go. And hold trigger or B to shrink down. Obviously we can't get up there, so something must be happening like this. Let's go back and help the old lady. Save her from this bug. There, and now I rescue her. Aha, a chest. You could kind of always just run against the wall. You might find something. Keep your eyes peeled. Ahoy, Pip, still alive, I see. Well, that's fantastic. What you're looking at is a conduit. These allow you to teleport to any previously visited areas. Perfect for bathroom breaks. Do you need to use the bathroom? No? Okay. Try teleporting back to town and visit the merchant. His wares will surely help you on your journey. At the end of every stage, you hop into here. And there you go, stage clear. It'll tell you how many coins or bits or points or whatever you earned. You get all the villagers. And it'll bring you back to the world map. Continue on at any time. Oh, hi. That's telling me there's a new vendor. You get 2 of them. One final tip before I go. You can zoom with the Y key. And you can fast travel between worlds. I did not learn this until I got to the end of the game. Now, it doesn't do much out of the first stage, but you'll thank me when you try to play from later on. Or, you'll thank me later. See, it saves you a lot of running. Okay, well, I am Sabriel for Gamebits, and this is Adventures of Pip by TikTok Games. I am joined today by Shereef and Jeff, 2 of the people who created Adventures of Pip.
Hello.
Guys.
Hi. Hey.
Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? How about you, Shereef? You go first.
Okay, well, I'm Shereef Morris. I was a video game producer for 15 years, 20 years now, and worked at such great companies as WayForward Technologies, Disney, and Sony. And I started my own company called TikTok Games, where I enlisted some of the best to come work with me here, and we came up with a few thousand games that we did for other people, and then we wanted to make some of our own, and went to a place called Kickstarter, where all these awesome people decided that they would help us make Adventures of Pip. And so, so that's a little bit about me, but I love video games.
How about you, Jeff?
My name is Jeff Luke. I've been a game designer in the game industry for just coming up on 10 years now. Wow. It's been forever. Crazy. I worked at Fistcell and WayForward and a couple other small things here and there, and then came over here to TikTok. Because I saw them working on Adventures of Pip, and I was so enthralled by that idea that I was like, I gotta come join these guys.
And we were like, dude, we're gonna get Jeff Luke. That's freaking awesome. So we kidnapped him.
Literally happened. There's a black van and everything.
Yep. Voldy is still mad about it. He's like, dude, did you just roll up to WayForward with a black van and steal Jeff Luke? And we were like, yep.
Shereef, how did TikTok Games come to be then? If you were at these amazing companies, or possibly amazing companies, and then I want to do my own thing?
Yeah, it was a lot like that. It was like, you know what, I'm doing all this stuff for other people and having to listen to what they want to do, and I'm working with a lot of amazing talent that don't really want to do the changes that are being requested in a lot of cases. So I wanted to make sure that we can make an avenue for really good, strong, creative people to basically make the games they wanted to make, without having to compromise based on any publisher feedback or anything like that. So I took a risk back 5 years ago, which is what,
2010?
Yeah, I guess that's 2010, wow. And, we realized we didn't have a ton of money, so what we ended up doing was a bunch of work for publishers again. So we ended up saving every penny we could to kind of start putting together prototypes and things like that for other games that we wanted to make, and then and we had a couple of quick to market kind of iOS titles that we wanted to get out there and see if they can resonate with the communities and make sure that we were doing good games, and it was resonating. So we said, okay, we're ready for bigger challenges. So we went after where our hearts were, which was going back to 2D platformers and making Adventures of Pip.
Excellent. That was actually going to be one of my questions later. How did you guys go from all that to Adventures of Pip? So.
It's really funny because when you look at my history is weird because at WayForward, I started working with Matt Bozon and Jimmy Huey and Voldy on the first colored Game Boy titles that WayForward did, including the first Shantae title that launched from the studio. So my background is actually was all primarily like 2D platformers up until I went to Sony, and then it started becoming this kind of like mishmash of different other different genres. It was kind of like going back to the roots, I guess, and going back to the roots with people that I had worked with, you know, like Mark Gomez, obviously, who's creative director on Adventures of Pip, who we could drag in here in a second too, was QA at Way Forward, and then became a background artist, and then became a lead animator, and then eventually he grew into doing art direction on Contra 4 and Blood Rain and Boy and His Blob. So when we went out to do a company and he was interested in joining it, it was like getting the band back together, and it just became very clear what kind of games we'd make at that point once we had the funding, you know, and we're grateful to the Kickstarter guys for giving us that funding.
Oh wow, that's an amazing story.
Yeah, it's a long, crazy, kind of weird, winded story, but you know, there's a lot of really interesting characters in this one. You know, like I've known about Jeff since the Updog days, where him and Sean
Represent.
He's actually wearing his Updog t-shirt, right? Sean from Yacht Club, and like Cole Phillips over at Fifth Cell, and Mark Boson. All these guys were like these Updogs that were just like super game designers, you know.
Yeah.
And I loved seeing kind of the stuff that they would do, and looking at the pictures of them eating sushi and getting drunk and stuff like that. And I was like, gosh, you know, I know everybody in that picture except for that Jeff Luke character, and everybody tells me that he's like a genius, a game genius. Three E3s ago, I think we hung out a lot, and 2 E3s ago we decided we were going to work together.
Okay.
So that was awesome, and he definitely helps make sure that the studio keeps a quality bar that we really want to go after, which is, it's good because you have Mark who's got this big brain, and Kathy who's got this big brain, and now you have Jeff who's like the perfect complement to them. So yeah, we got some superheroes on this team. It's like the Avengers.
I want to be
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Everybody wants to be
Yeah.
Iron Man, right? But Kathy, I think, is Iron Man.
I'll be Captain America.
You could be Captain America.
Okay.
I could see you as
There you
Cap.
Cool.
And Shereef is Hulk?
I'm probably Hawkeye. I'm the useless guy in the back with a bow and arrow that just watches them all and says, "Hey, look out behind you! One behind you!"
He shoots when it really counts, so that's really.
I have a few arrows. I have a few
We're
arrows.
fighting robots, I've got a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
None of this makes sense.
Exactly. I just try to make sure that everybody doesn't kill each other. No. Or get killed in the process.
Yeah.
That just sounded weird. Can we edit that? No?
Nah,
No,
that
let's
should
keep
probably
it.
No,
just,
that's permanent. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the game. Adventures of Pip. What was your inspiration? You had said you had done a bunch of 2D platforming before, but you made this jump from a bunch of little mobile games, and all of a sudden you're like, "Hey guys, let's make a 2D platformer, and we'll call it Adventures of Pip." Or did it start somewhere, or start somehow else?
It started 4 years ago, when Mark first came to the company, and I said, "We're gonna want to make original IP. What are you thinking?" He's like, I have a few ideas. One is based around how art has developed since I started working in games. And he was working as, you know, back in Color Game Boy days, he was working with a restricted palette, and he had like only X amount of colors he could use, and he was really, you know, staying within those limitations to really make the quality bar, you know, amazing. But as the platforms grew, so did his ability to use more and more assets. But at the end of the day, it was a question as to whether or not the additional art, or the extra art, was making the games better, stronger, faster, right? So what it became was a journey of how do you tell the story of art progressing in a game genre that speaks to gameplay but also has a strange social message to it, right? So Pip was kind of born with the idea that there would be a caste system that had like low-res people that were kind of being ruled by high-res people, and one day that the high-res people would need the low-res people to step up and help out, right? So one day, like the Skeleton Queen, who's really became the de-resing queen, came in and de-resed everybody down to 1 pixel. But since you were Pip, who was always born 1 pixel, it didn't matter to you because you've lived your entire life that way. So you see it as an opportunity to save these people. So on the road, you gain these evolutions, 8-bit and 16-bit, and with those evolutions, you get different play mechanics. Each play mechanic's important, but sometimes you lose play controls because of your evolution. So you have to flip back and forth between the different evolutions and game genres, basically, to complete levels, so that you could kind of feel like how important gameplay really is over art sometimes. So there's one message. Then there's the social message about, everybody's kind of like low res and high res being important to society. But yeah, so I guess in a very convoluted way, I've kind of answered the question by telling you about the story a little bit.
Yes, you have. Jeff, anything you wanted to add there?
Yeah, I think, Mark's big goal with the game was to be able to tell the evolution of the platformer through the generations of gaming, basically. All the way from, Atari to Super Nintendo era, where things really started to get really advanced. You started with Pitfall or Jungle Hunt, on Atari, and it was just jumping and walking, essentially. Then Nintendo came along, and you started to get much more advanced controls and stuff like that. Even though it was still only 2 buttons, but you could now start wall jumping and extended that a lot. Speed was way faster, and then Super Nintendo came along, and you started seeing just a vast evolution of different types of playstyles. You had like the heavier characters, like in ActRaiser or Lost Vikings. Lost Vikings is a great example of like 3 very different platforming styles and different mobility types. I think that was really Mark's big goal, was to be able to tell that story almost kind of as a background thing, and give people who have played through those generations a happy memory, a little nostalgia, but also make sure that new audiences and new gamers could experience it and still have that same type of joy and fun that their father is having.
I like your answer so much better than mine. Can we just print that answer?
Sure thing.
Awesome.
So it sounds like Pip's evolving and de-evolving created the story, where instead of the story creating the idea.
The gameplay created the story.
Yeah, the gameplay. Well, it's kind of funny because I think the general premise might have been, the artwork, and then the second piece was it's not worth going after, just the artwork. What's the gameplay? Make sure that the gameplay is so meaningful that, because we build games, we don't just build art, right? The two have to complement each other, and really making sure that that primary gameplay mechanic around the whole gameplay mechanic made sense to develop first, and it was truly innovative and fun and meaningful in a platforming game. Because we had a lot of different iterations that we tested of without de-evolution. It was just straight evolution for a while, and then it became evolve, devolve. As soon as you got hit, you de-evolved. So it was like, first make that make sense, and then when that makes sense, then everything else starts to build around it. That full wrapper, that full story, all of that started to kind of layer on top of it. But at its core, it was go after the game first.
Yeah, a lot of game development usually works in like 2 methods. It's like top to bottom or bottom to up. Basically it's start with story and that dictates the gameplay, or the opposite, being gameplay dictates story. I think with this game, which was kind of interesting, is that they almost ran a parallel path in this situation. So there was no top, there was no bottom. I mean, I guess they were both bottom, and it was like a pyramid, basically. Yeah. Which was really interesting. I mean, in ways, the story was dictating a little bit of gameplay, but very often the story would change drastically. Well, not drastically, but it would change a bit based on gameplay changes we were making. So it created this really actually interesting balance, where I think this is like the first time I've ever done development on a project that way, which was really cool. It was kind of interesting to see everything literally evolving as we went forward. So.
And then converging at the same time.
Yep.
It was like crazy, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. What are some of the lessons you've learned from Pip here? Did you have any complications that you overcame? Or did something like, oh, this is just, everything worked out well?
Oh no. Everything did not work out well. Man, talk about...
What happened?
Oh, there was a lot. I think we learned a lot in this production. I think, I think we learned, wow, where to begin? One, how important it is to communicate to your Kickstarter backers. That's probably the first one.
Let's go there. You had 2 Kickstarters.
We had 2 Kickstarters.
Tell us about that. What happened with the first one?
So the first one, I think we didn't know what we signed up for. I think we saw the success over at Way Forward with their Shantae Half Genie Hero Kickstarter, and I think we saw the success with the Shovel Knight Kickstarter, but then when we went to do ours, we had so much work that we had to do while the Kickstarter was running, because that preliminary work was, you really need 30 days of planning to get your Kickstarter started right. And then you need to be heavily active during the period of time that your Kickstarter is running. And when we started it, I think we started with a baseline, and then our community started correcting us. What about this? Have you guys thought about this? And we were like, no. This first time somebody actually said that to us. That's really smart. And then we started kind of keeping record of all these things, and we're so lucky because the guys that backed us, I think, carried over right into the next one, and kind of helped. They almost helped manage us, get to the second Kickstarter. And when we did the first Kickstarter, we also kind of had a different game design. At one point, we realized this is so ambitious, and maybe it lacks some clarity to a player. And having some of that feedback during our Kickstarter and getting that feedback from the community gave us reason to go ahead and say, you know what, with 3 minor tweaks, we're going to be able to get this funded. So we went back and we said, we took all the feedback we got from the community and we said, if we accept this feedback, will we still be building something that we believe in, that we feel strongly about? And the answer was absolutely, So we went and we retooled it. We even brought in some of our friends from other studios to come take a look at what we were doing next and get their feedback and solicit their advice, and we just leveraged everything that we learned from the community and other teams, and then we said, okay, we're going to go hard charging now. 30 days before we started really getting into the planning. During that 30-day period of time, we were so attentive to everything that was happening that we funded, and then we made beyond our goal by over 25,000.
Wonderful.
Which was really awesome. Yeah.
That's a lot of great advice for anybody else who wants to do a Kickstarter. I know a number of people have been kind of worried that there's going to be a Kickstarter plateau where people are just not going to want to contribute anymore. So hopefully your advice here will help them out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Or do you have any feelings towards that? Do you think there's a limit to how great Kickstarter can be for indies?
I think indies need to deliver.
Yeah.
People put a lot of faith in you by contributing, so you got to deliver the product at the end of the day. So
the unfortunate thing is that there's not that many Kickstarters that fail miserably to deliver the product afterwards, right? But those are the ones that are the most vocal. You hear about them on all the websites and stuff like that because it should be heard. There are usually some really bad bungles that happen.
Yeah.
But I think that's why there's a big fear about the bubble bursting, and I think honestly it was close to not so long ago. I think right in between Shantae Half Genie Hero funding and right after Pip funded, there was a point where it almost seemed like nobody was backing anything for a period there. But I think that a lot of things have started being delivered to people, and games have actually started coming out. I think people are starting to gain confidence in Kickstarter again. So you've got games like Igarashi's Bloodstained, which just funded 10,000% higher than it ever asked for, or something like that. And that's an amazing thing. Shenmue funded 2 million in like 8 hours or something like
5
that.
minutes or something. Jesus.
Granted, these are a huge, high-profile people, but the fact that we're seeing these people now coming to Kickstarter, you know, I mean, obviously Inafune came on there and did huge. I think it's actually starting to create a new, breathe some new life. Yeah, resurgence of the Kickstarter. I think we're going to see a lot of people starting to do it now.
Yeah. We talk about doing it again.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have the stomach for it yet, but you know, we talk about doing it again for sure.
Oh, we've learned a lot since, you know, this Kickstarter too. I mean, there's a lot of missteps we've taken since it funded too.
Where we're lucky.
Like,
I gotta say, we're lucky that we have the best backers in the world. Like seriously,
very understanding.
They've been patient. They've been vocal. I mean, they definitely tell us, hey, this is what we didn't like.
Yeah.
Did you notice this is happening? Have you paid attention to this? No, we've been developing things.
Yeah.
Can you give an example of a misstep you gave or you had?
Oh, early access was a misstep on our part. Like, you know, we gave early access as a tier inside of our Kickstarter, and then we went wide on early access before we actually
allowed those tiers to have like a special block of time.
No, they had a special block of time.
Yeah.
But hindsight being 2020, we never really needed to go early access with our title.
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't have. We should have probably done early access only for our Kickstarters, for only our backers, and then eventually, if we felt like we needed, you know, more exposure, you know, to for whether it's balancing or feedback, we could have gone wider to our community instead of just sell the title. I think we probably made a mistake there, you know, because selling it was just kind of like cheapening the early access tier for those guys. Wow, that's real honesty right there, guys.
Yeah, right there.
but you know, we love our backers. We want them to feel special. We want them to feel like they contributed, you know, and that was an oversight on our part. So that's perhaps the biggest oversight we've had. But yeah, definitely one that we would never repeat.
Yeah,
definitely.
We learned our lesson for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all the other stuff has been stuff that hasn't affected anyone besides like ourselves internally, where we're like, oh, you know, there's something we forgot or didn't think about, and it's coming up. We need to figure it out right now. So we scramble to an extent, but we fix it before it's ever forward facing.
Speaking of feedback, you guys attended both PAX South and PAX East. Did you get any useful user feedback from those two experiences?
Oh yeah. We also went to PAX Prime too. Like,
oh, did you?
Yeah. So and I think that was during the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And that was maybe, although Jeff wasn't at that one, that might have been my favorite one, because we would get feedback from people. I'm sorry, don't make that face. We would get feedback from people at Prime. We'd go back to the hotel. We'd work. We'd update the build, and we'd come back, and people would play the same game the next day, and they'd be like, "Whoa, you changed it." Yeah, we changed it. We heard what you said, and we changed it. You know, because it was great to react to their feedback and show them we really give a shit. We really care. Excuse me, what you guys are saying. And we're gonna listen, and we're gonna change those things. And then even at South and Prime and East, you know, it might have not been like the very next day, but you know, it was, you know, taking that feedback, you know, having people play through and really give us, you know, test them out, even see how quickly they were beating some extra challenge levels, you know, identifying who was the fastest and who was the best, and have them see what their time would be like if they played the game from end to end, and then kind of log that and say, okay, we need to make this more challenging, we need to make this easier, and then go back and do it again. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I mean, I think PAX South almost was more of a focus test, you know, a situation where we were able to really just gauge people's reactions, clock their times, all that stuff, to really determine, you know, one, is this section we're showing unfair or anything like that we should probably change this. We did make a couple small tweaks. There wasn't anything really.
Oh, there was big.
Well, no, I mean that day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or over that weekend or whatever it was.
Definitely, like the first day of South, we made like some pretty big changes the first couple days.
Yeah.
Like let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, and
Yeah.
like, people enjoyed it more. But like even feedback that we got on the wall jumps all the way up till PAX East, I think actually influenced the game.
Yeah, I think our community has been incredibly. They've given a lot of really great feedback. We've taken it all to heart to really make the game that they're gonna want to play, and two that we're super proud of because, and we're so thankful to them because they really helped shape this. It's really great.
Yeah, we have some really amazing people, and you were there.
Yeah,
I was. I really enjoyed my the times I got to play it.
Right on. We enjoyed you coming by and playing it and helping spread the word and everything. You were like instrumental, so that was huge.
The game was released on Windows, Mac, and Wii U. What made you go Wii U over the other consoles?
We do have plans to still hit Xbox and PlayStation. Those two are announced. So those are coming. But why Wii U was a lead platform is going to sound very Nintendo fanboyish. Jeff will stop me before I go too far.
I don't think it will sound fanboyish.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Well, I just grew up with a lot of games that kind of felt like this, from Nintendo, and I think that I do feel like it's cut from a very similar DNA from games that we grew up with, from Mario's to Zelda's, like I feel like that's so that Pip lives inside that same kind of world of game, and game quality, and it just feels like almost like our thank you to Nintendo. So it wouldn't have made sense to actually launch on any other platform first. Snotty, fanboyish.
No. What it comes down to is exactly what you said. We all grew up on Nintendo. It feels just like that's the right home for it to start. It's to breathe life in and really kind of get its footing. And the community on Nintendo, like on Miiverse and stuff like that, they're all such great people. Like, they're people excited about games. They're not people who are excited about like what's the next PvP shooter. It's like It's people who love gaming for gaming, And I think that's the one thing that Nintendo still has over everyone is just like they know how to make fun. Like that's their like motto, make fun. And why wouldn't we want to be there, right? Like we're making a game about having a fun time, and it seems just like the right home.
I concur, Jeff. Indeed, I concur.
Did Nintendo give you any trouble, any guidance, anything, or did they leave you on your own and say, you do your thing?
They were so mean to us. No, they were actually kind of awesome. Like, everyone over there was really, really awesome to us. I think Damon, God, man, we were on Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of awesome. Like, I met Damon at GDC this year. Wow. And he was like, I got my eye on Pip, and I was like, wow, thank you.
He told me to tell you hi, by the way.
Did he really?
Yeah. So I'm at E3.
No way! Oh, he's awesome. Yeah, Damon is awesome. So he was like, I really love your game, and I was like, we love you. So, and then they gave us a ton of support. Like when we were submitting, they had our back, but like. Then when we went live, we were just underneath Splatoon.
Yeah.
In the eShop. Like, if you looked, we were right underneath it. It was awesome.
And they moved us forward. They wanted us... We were originally going to launch on... like, we actually publicly announced we're launching on June 11th. And they're like, hey, you guys want to launch a little earlier? And we're like, sure.
They're like, look, we think it would be a good idea if you guys launched on the 4th. Mm-hmm. And we were like, well... We're ready, let's do it.
Yeah.
So they launched us on the 4th.
Yep. So it was a great surprise for everyone, for us and for the community, because suddenly they don't have to wait an extra week. Here it is. Here's the game. All right. That was great.
Now this is more of a personal question. Where in the world were some of the last villagers in those boss stages?
I'm not on the screen anymore.
very well hidden.
Apparently so.
We tried to give clues in some of those levels. I mean, there was times where you had to go forward and then backtrack a little bit, like, to really find them. And, you know, usually we try to go give a little visual clue on the screen that you would find them on, just to let you know that there is a villager here, but you might not be able to get to that villager, you know, from this room. You might have to go forward a little bit. And there's other ones that were just ridiculously well hidden. And unfortunately, you're gonna have to find every little nook and cranny to actually get them all. So
Dang,
yeah.
you're mean.
Well, you know.
What's next for TikTok Games?
Finishing these ports, getting the localization together, making our reward tiers all go out so everybody that backed us is happy. That's first.
Then world domination.
Then world domination.
That's a good goal.
Yeah, we want to make sure that everybody who backed us is happy, even if it took us longer to get there. We're going to get all of our goals squared away. And then we have a new IP that might get primetime viewing. But only after we finish all of our commitment on this one.
It's a big secret.
It is a big secret, but it's awesome.
Adventures of Queen Derezia?
Ooh, that'd be fun.
God, you know what?
I know.
There you go.
Wow, there is something to be said about that.
If you make it like a Pikmin game, and you de-res people and give powers to other people, like a management game.
That's interesting. I just make it so that she's just going through wreaking havoc on everything.
Rampage style.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Is there anything else you'd like to add for today's conversation?
Download Adventures of Pip if you haven't on Steam and Wii U now. Look for it on Xbox and PlayStation 4 soon. And be on the lookout for other platforms in the future. We'll just say that.
Stay tuned to awesome stuff we have coming down the line at one point.
We'll be at PAX Prime, potentially. Which I said that.
Just a bunch of weird stuff. And,
actually, remove that last thing about PAX Prime.
And be sure
There's nothing about PAX Prime yet.
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
Please brush your teeth really well.
Mm-hmm.
30 seconds each quadrant of your mouth so you don't get cavities. Floss. I think that's it. I mean, what do you think?
I guess really, I mean, just a big thank you to all of our backers who made this game possible, and to the community who has now discovered the game and has given us a lot of great feedback, or, you know, and thank you to all the people who have reviewed the game and, you know, really shown that what we did was worth it, you know?
Yeah. And thanks to the team too, like, I want to put out, like, you know, Kathy and Mark, who, you know, could easily be sitting here doing this interview in place of us because they're so married to this project but working their butts off of it there in the other room right now. David Lawrence programming, Josh Green, Kyle who does level design, Garth Smith who also does programming, James Higgin who does porting. Like, all those guys are awesome, and everybody who did art touched the game with their art. Charlotte Jackson, Eddie Moreno, Elazar Del Rosario, like, all those guys are really incredible. And I'm forgetting people. I'm gonna feel like an ass for doing that. Tana.
It's just like the Emmys or Oscars. Right?
Yeah, it really does feel like that. Did I win? I'd like to thank my mom.
And that's it, because that's all I remember.
And, of course, Damon at Nintendo, and Greg Miller, who, for no reason whatsoever, picked up this game and decided to give us the best coverage in the world. I mean, that was awesome. Gosh, man, we have so many awesome people that have given us so much support, and yeah, I guess number one is really our backers, so.
Yeah. And you.
And you.
For giving us this opportunity to talk to you.
For broadcasting us every opportunity you get, too. Yeah. It's freaking awesome.
As the day we're recording this interview, I just published my last episode of the Let's Play I created for it.
Are you serious? Congratulations. We'll help you find that. We'll see exactly who you're missing and tell you exactly where they are.
Or at least good hints. That way you still get to discover it on your own.
And if for some reason we're at PAX Prime, I'll see you there. We should hang out.
Cool.
Okay, we'll all go get beverages together or something.
I like that idea.
Awesome.
If someone listening to this wants to follow you somewhere on the social media sites,
yeah.
where can they find you?
At TikTok Games, TikTokGames, or Facebook/TikTok Games.
Follow him at Shereef007, right?
And
or
you
07.
are Chef Luke,
Yep.
CHEFF Luke, like
Yep.
Jeff Luke. Then Mark Gomez is Mark Ye, and Kathy Camacho is Calf Dog. So yeah, feel free to follow us too.
We say lots of dumb stuff on Twitter all the time.
Yeah, when we're not super freaking swamped on Pip stuff.
Well, all right. Thank you both for joining me. And if you at home want to follow me, I am at Sabriality. If you don't know how to spell that, you can just go to sabriel.me, and that has a link to everything I do. Thank you for listening.